All right, I'm back on the Lemons car. It got roll cage installed and it's looking more and more like a race car. There's a few more things got to do to this thing to get it ready to go to the racetrack. And one of them is going to be to put these brakes on there. These are GT500 brakes, and hopefully we can just bolt those right on there. We'll find out. First I'm going to disconnect this brake line and let the fluid drain out. I got some new brake fluid I'm going to put in here. So I don't mind it draining out to make room in the reservoir. And now I'm going to take this caliper off. There's two 15 mils on the back. Also, while this is draining, you want to keep an eye on the master cylinder, make sure it doesn't drain out. Then you have to bleed the master cylinder again. Okay, now I'm going to take this rotor off of here. Now here's a side-by-side comparison. Obviously the GT500 rotors are much bigger than the V6. I think these are 13 or 14, I can't remember off the top of my head, but should give us a lot better stopping power. And I'm going to put the rotor on here and see how it fits with the factory dust shield. I don't know how it's going to need replacing. Then on the back side, it doesn't fit too bad. That dust shield seems like it'll work with the rotor. Now I'll put the caliper on there and see if that clears the dust shield and everything. That bolts right up there. Clears the dust shield. Everything looks perfect. Looks like even the brake hose is gonna bolt right in there. That is pretty impressive. So everything bolts right up from the GT500 on this V6. Even the brake lines bolt right up. Clears the dust shield. I mean, the dust shield's a little bit small, but that's pretty impressive. Easy upgrade. All right, now that I know everything fits on here, it's good to know. It's good for anybody that wants to do a brake upgrade. These 07 to probably 12 GT500 brakes, you can find them on, Marketplace or wherever. Fairly inexpensive, a couple $100, and if you can get the rotors as well, it's a great easy upgrade. I'm going to take it back off because I do have these dust shields that have a little brake cooling duct in case we want to try and duct cooling into our brakes. So I'm going to pull this back off, install these. All right, so these dust shields, pretty easy. Just held on with 3 little bolts there. Swap those out. All right, now I'm going to put everything back on and torque it. These caliper bolts are 85 in this tube, which you want to make sure you got still good brass washers on here. This gets torqued to 13 foot-pounds, but double check it, make sure it's not leaking after you torque it. If you need to put a little bit extra torque on there to make sure it doesn't leak, but not too much. You don't want to break that banjo bolt off. For brake fluid, I'm using this Motol 660.4. All right, so here it is, all installed. Got the dust shield that comes all the way out here. I'm pretty impressed with how easy that swap was. You don't really need much of any. You just need the rotor and the caliper, and everything bolts right up to it. So now I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side, and then get back and bleed these brakes out, flush them out, so that new brake fluid will get all through the lines. All right, so I'm on the passenger side here, getting ready to bleed these brakes. I got my son's in the car right now. I'm gonna pump and hold for me. I like to break these loose before I put the hose on there. I'm just gonna pop this loose a little bit. And now I just made a little tool here. I got a little container, hose on top of there, stick it on. You wanna start with the outside first. And then move to the inside. I'm going to do all 4. Similar to this, I like to hold this up so I can see the air bubbles go up in there. But I'm just going to show you this one, and then I'm going to do all 4. All right, go ahead and pump it, buddy. And it's good. So he's going to pump it, and then he's going to hold it, and then let me know when it hits the floor. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, hold it. Pump it. Hold it. Pump it. Hold it. All right, not much air came out of there. I'm gonna do the inside and do all 4 corners. All right, so in addition to keeping this cap on here kind of loose, keep an eye on the level. You don't want it to get too low. I'm gonna top this off. All right, so in order to clear the calipers, GT500 calipers, we got new rims and tires. These things are beefy. These are 19 by 11 and a half. 305, 35 19s on the back. I think it's 285 for the front. But I want to weigh these and see what the difference is. That's one of the drawbacks, because these are definitely bigger. All right, first this, I don't think it's factory, but this smaller rim. About 43 pounds. And now, these don't feel that much heavier, but they gotta be heavier. 56 pounds, so about 13 pounds per wheel. To put those wheels on, I use these lug nuts from Vorschlag. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'll put the link down below. These are nice. They're you know, bolt through, 17 mil, so you can, you know, got a lot of clearance in there to put these on. I like them. All right, so putting these Vorschlag lug nuts on, what I found out is these things are pretty tight on there. And I learned the hard way that if these threads are not perfect, it's going to jam up on there. They're going to jam up. So what I recommend is get a die and run this die over the studs just to make sure that they're nice and clean. So this die is a 1/2 inch by 20. And all you really got to do is just get it started by hand and then, you know, run it all the way through there. And what's going to happen is it's going to clean up the tips of these studs on here. And that way, the lug nuts will go on way easier. I learned that the hard way. One of the ones on the back kind of cross-threaded and tried to just push through it. And of course, it got mangled up. Had to fix it. So do yourself a favor. Get you one of these dies and run it over the studs just to make sure those threads are nice and clean before you try using these lug nuts. All right, here's the before rims. They look pretty good. It's going to be pretty hard to top these. I don't think they're factory, but see how the new ones look on there. Alright, so here's the after. Got the GT500 brakes in there. Clear nice. Looks pretty good. It's starting to look more like a race car.